With 82 different skills available in Starfield requiring 328 skill points in order to max them all out, it can be pretty overwhelming trying to decide where to spend your valuable points. In this video, I'm going to tell you which 10 skills I think are absolutely essential for playing Starfield, and not only that, I'm going to tell you the quickest and easiest ways to beat the challenges for each one and get them leveled up as quickly as possible. I'll be making another video later on looking at the most powerful higher tier late game skills, but for today we're just staying focused on the ones I think you simply cannot do without. If you agree or disagree with any of these or have any tips or suggestions around them, then please leave a comment down below, as it's not only a great way for me to learn and hear new perspectives, but it's also a great way for everybody watching to learn as well. Number 1. First up is Boostpack Training. Without rank 1 of this skill, you'll be completely unable to utilize boost packs, making at least 1 point pretty much essential. Boost packs allow you to navigate your way around cities, planets, and through combat much more easily and dynamically, and unless you're trying to do a no boost playthrough, then you'll need to spend a point here. Upgrading this to rank 2 will make your boost pack expend less fuel, rank 3 will speed up your boost pack fuel regeneration speed, and rank 4 will double all the previous bonuses. I slept on upgrading this past rank 1 for quite a while, and as soon as I finally got around to leveling up further, I really wished I'd done it sooner. The difference in a rank 4 versus a rank 1 boost pack is absolutely massive, making you able to stay in the air indefinitely in low gravity planets and easily evade and dodge nasty creatures and enemies even in normal gravity. I'd recommend taking it up to max level early on in the game, and its challenges are also very easy to beat. For each level, you'll just need to use a boost jump whilst in combat a certain number of times, so just keep spamming boost during any fight, whether human or weird space creature, and you'll have the challenges ticked off in a matter of minutes. Number 2. The security skill might be a slightly contentious choice coming in on this list, given that a lot of the things you find behind high level picked locks can be pretty disappointing. But given how many different gameplay options are opened up to you by being able to pick any lock, I really think it is an important one to have. Lots of dungeons and missions will have alternative routes or methods of completing them, or ways to make them easier that you can only do if you have a certain level in the security skill to pick a lock or hack a computer. Rank 1 will allow you to hack advanced locks and give you a max of 2 stored auto attempts. Rank 2 will allow you to hack expert locks and give you 3 auto attempts, and it will also make the rings in the hacking minigame turn blue to show which layers they are able to be used in. Rank 3 will let you tackle master locks and give you 4 auto attempts, and rank 4 will allow you to use a digipick to eliminate the keys that aren't valid for that puzzle, and also let you bank 5 auto attempts. I don't think the tier 4 is very useful in security. It will make picking slightly quicker if you have picks to spare, but I think you're going to be much better off taking this up to rank 3 as early as possible and then using your points elsewhere. To complete the challenges for this skill, you just need to pick a certain number of locks. This is going to happen pretty naturally during your playthrough, especially as you go through dungeons with lots of doors and boxes to pick, but if you're struggling and want to just grind it out, then you can keep hacking the computer console in the UC Vanguard ship simulator over and over again in order to complete these challenges. You need to sign up to join the Vanguard by speaking to the chap at the desk in the master building in New Atlantis, and then go through the first couple of waypoints in order to reach the ship simulator. Inside, you need to sit in the pilot seat until the simulation starts, and you can then get up by holding B on controller or E on PC and walk back to this computer panel, which you can hack with a digipick. Once you've done that, you can just exit the simulator and then go straight back in and repeat it again as many times as you need to. Number 3. Fitness is another extremely useful skill, and the first of 3 physical skills to make our list today. Each of the first 3 ranks of fitness gives you 10% more oxygen available, whilst rank 4 makes sprinting and power attacks use significantly less oxygen. Given how easy it is to run out of O2 in Starfield, especially when encumbered or when exploring planets, it really does help to have this boost. What this means is that you can sprint for longer before having to stop and get your breath, which is extremely handy when you're trying to run 1,000 meters across a planet in order to reach a waypoint. It's another one that's worth putting points into early on in order to make the game more enjoyable and speed up some of the more mundane traveling aspects. I found its challenges a bit janky when trying to do them just naturally. It says you have to use up all available your oxygen a certain number of times for each challenge, but you actually have to do that and then fill up your red CO2 bar to max as well, and you also have to let it all reset back to default after each one. The easiest way I found to do this was to go onto my ship near a bed, dump all of my cargo into my inventory to make me massively over encumbered, run up and down a few yards until I've burnt through all my oxygen and filled up the red bar, and then dive in bed and have a power nap for 1 hour, and when you wake up, you have all your oxygen back to normal, and you can just repeat this over and over, even whilst being hounded by Andreja and her apparently insatiable appetite. Number 4. Targeting control systems is another absolutely must-have skill, certainly for rank 1, as having this will unlock the ability to fully target enemy ships. When in targeting mode, time will slow down, and you'll also be able to choose specific parts of enemy ships you wish to target, allowing you to disable their engines if you wish, so you can board their ship. Increasing the skill to rank 2 will reduce the time taken to lock on by 15% and also make locked on ships shoot at you 25% more slowly. Rank 3 will bring the time taken to lock on down by 30% and give you a 10% chance to make a critical hit on a targeted ship. And rank 4 will bring the time taken down to lock on down a whopping 60% and deal an extra 20% system damage in targeting mode. I'd recommend working through all 4 of these over time, but certainly the first 3 are very useful, and the first rank is basically essential and should be one of the first skills you take. In order to complete the challenges for targeting control systems, you need to kill certain numbers of enemy ships whilst you're in targeting mode. If you want to speed this process up, you can use the UC Vanguard simulator that I mentioned earlier, and all the ship kills in that in targeting mode will count just like a real kill. Or if you want a bit more of a challenge, then you can fly out to the system Serpentis and you'll be attacked in orbit by angry Varun ships pretty much any time you arrive at any planet or moon in the system. This is also a nice way to practice combat in your ship of choice, and also for getting XP and loot. Remember, you can always just turn the difficulty down if you want to make this a bit easier. Nobody will ever know. Number 5. Stealth, I feel, has to make it onto the list, if only just for the rank 1 ability. Without rank 1, you don't have the stealth bar on screen to tell you if you are detected or not, making life pretty hard if you're trying to be sneaky. You also become more difficult to detect and do more damage with suppressed weapons on sneak attacks with each further rank acquired, with rank 4 also making it so you can open doors while sneaking without alerting enemies. I think even if you're not planning on being an especially stealthy character, it's still pretty handy to have at least the first rank in this to make it a little bit easier if you see something you really fancy stealing, or if you want to get the damage bonus for a sneak attack. I didn't actually take this skill initially, as I had 2 pieces of armor with the chameleon trait on them, which meant if I sat still, then I was completely invisible anyway, so I could just sit in front of people and steal all their stuff without really having to worry about a detected bar. So you can get by if you've got some chameleon gear, but I would recommend putting 1 point into this early on if you can, and then just spending more on it if you decide to play a more stealth focused build. In order to beat the challenges for stealth, you simply have to perform sneak attacks, so just go find a dungeon or planet with creatures on it and then sneak about shooting them, and you'll have it finished very quickly. Number 6. Piloting has got to be one of the most feature-packed skills in the entire game, not giving you a bunch of boring incremental buffs to your stats, but instead unlocking a group of powerful and unique abilities. Rank 1 allows you to use your ship's thrusters, which can be done by holding down RB on controller or space on PC. Using these will let you turn your ship much more tightly and retain more momentum, and it's extremely useful for ship combat, especially when fighting multiple enemies. Rank 2 will increase your ship's turning rate and maneuverability. Rank 3 will unlock the ability to pilot Class B ships, and Rank 4 will unlock the ability to pilot Class C ships, the most powerful ship class in the game. I'd really recommend getting this leveled up as early as possible, certainly at least to Rank 3, as you can come across Class B ships pretty early on, and it's pretty annoying if you take an enemy ship over in space or on a planet, only to find you're unable to pilot it because of this skill. Class C ships are a bit less common, but it's still going to be something you'll want eventually. The challenges for this skill are nice and simple. Just get varying amounts of ship kills, and you can complete them in exactly the same way as with targeted control systems mentioned earlier, either in the UC Vanguard simulator or by taking a trip to Serpentis. Number 7. I've lumped Botany and Zoology into one skill for this one, as they basically do exactly the same thing, with one being for animals and one being for plants. These science skills do a whole bunch of stuff at each rank, giving you more resources from flora and fauna, giving you more info when you scan them, harvest certain animals without having to kill them, and even allowing you to farm that type of thing at an outpost. But by far the most useful aspect of these skills is that for each rank it will reduce the number of hand scans required by you in order to 100% that type of flora or fauna on a planet. Without any points in these skills, you'll need to do 8 scans of every individual thing, but each rank on this skill will take that down by 1, meaning that at rank 4, you'll need to scan just 4 of a creature or plant in order to hit 100%. Now, you don't have to go and scan planets to get through the game, but it's a really nice way to get credits, to get XP, and just to see some of the cool stuff in the game, and I just think it's something that will be a part of most people's playthroughs, at least to some degree. Sometimes finding that last plant or especially animal can be a real pain, and these skills really help speed up that process of scanning planets and getting planetary data. The surveying, astrophysics, and scanning skills also help speed this up, as well as fitness, but I think these are by far the main two for speeding up planet scans and reducing frustration. In order to complete the challenges for these skills, you'll need to either harvest a certain number of plants or harvest resources from a certain number of animals. Both pretty straightforward and easy. Just keep in mind that you can also harvest from already dead animals that you didn't kill, so keep an eye out for big piles of fauna that have already met their maker. Number 8. Starship Design is another must-have, really, unless you don't want to do any shipbuilding or modification at all. Each rank spent in this will allow you to install more advanced components onto your ships, though keep in mind a lot of stuff is also level locked, so you won't see everything available until you hit level 60, even if you have this skill maxed out. You also don't find every ship component at every shipyard. You'll have to travel around to find the various parts you want to use. I'll put a link in the video description of a fantastic Reddit post that has all of the details of where you can find all the different ship components. The challenges for this can seem a little tricky. At first, you have to build a certain number of unique ship modules at each tier. What I tend to do is have a random spare ship that I don't care about, and I just attach a bunch of things from the structural tab to it, then save the ship, go back into the builder and delete them, and place a bunch of different structural pieces and repeat the process. This will soon get it done, and the structural bits tend to be a lot cheaper than anything else, so it shouldn't cost you too much either. It's worth keeping in mind when you go to a new tier on this skill, the list of unique modules is for that tier only. So you can reuse the same pieces for getting to rank 3 as you did for getting to rank 2 and so on. You just need to delete them off the ship first, save it, and then you should be good to go. If you're wondering, the same also applies to the outpost engineering skill, in that you can use the same things again for ranks 2, 3, 4, etc. Number 9. Weightlifting is a super simple quality of life skill that I think everyone will find useful. Whilst you can load up your companion's inventory and ship inventory with plenty of junk, there's nothing quite like having bigger pockets yourself. Rank 1 will let you carry an extra 10 kgs, rank 2 takes that up to a 25 kg increase, rank 3 up to 50 kgs, and rank 4 will double that up to 100 kgs increased capacity and also give you 50% resistance to stagger. With rank 4 and a couple of mods on my suit and pack, my main character has 260 carry weight, which means he can carry a whole ton of stuff, making it a lot easier to pick up guns and spacesuits and other stuff that is very easy to sell for quite a lot of cash. It also means you have to spend less time moving stuff between companion and ship and going to sell, and it just generally makes everything a little bit simpler. To complete the challenges, you just have to run certain distances whilst over 75% capacity, so fill up your inventory a bit and then go for a jog and you'll have those done in no time. If you've got some amp lying around, then chop that and you'll run even faster. Number 10. Last but certainly not least on our list today is weapon engineering, and I'm going to sneakily throw rank 1 of special projects in there too, as you need both of these in order to craft all of the weapon mods in the game. Each rank of weapon engineering will allow you to research and then craft new and interesting weapon mods, with rank 1 in special projects then allowing you to craft the final top tier mods. They don't start to get super powerful until you've got a few ranks through, but once you have some points in them and a good stock of resources, you can soon make even basic guns very powerful with a little modification, and you can even mod weapons just to sell them, as putting on high tier mods massively increases the value of some weapons. I had to put these on the list because after discovering the Hornet's Nest round on the Coachman a few weeks ago, it's basically been the only weapon I've been using since. It's ridiculously OP, and if you're wondering what the crazy explodey shotgun is that I've been using in a lot of my clips, that's what it is. The payoff for weapon modding is a little slow, but it's well worth it in the end, and I've barely spent any points at all in the combat tree and have just focused on mods and have been doing just fine on very hard difficulty. The modding skills are very easy to rank up. For the challenges, you just need to craft a certain amount of weapon mods, but you can just keep putting on and removing the same cheap mod over and over again on the same gun, and it will rank up not only for each mod, but also each time you remove the mod. You can also do the exact same thing with spacesuit mods if you're leveling that up as well. So that's it for my top 10 essential Starfield skills. Let me know in the comments if you think any of these shouldn't have made the list, or maybe what you think should have instead. And if you've got any good tips for completing tricky skill challenges, then please leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to help us out by clicking like and subscribe, and go and check out some of my other Starfield tips, tricks, and guide videos. Thanks so much for watching today. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.